What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Maydaysan here for Relearn Japanese, and you're here because you forgot your Japanese and my hair is too long. I gotta use a headband to hold it down, and they call it katyusha. It's named after a character in a book, or maybe just because it goes I don't know. Anyway, guys, today we're gonna be learning have to and must. So there's actually quite a couple ways to say it. So there's many ways to say it, but they all mean the same thing basically. And basically you only have to use one or two of them. You don't actually have to use all of them that I list here. So it can get confusing sometimes because they seem like negative statements sometimes. Like if I don't, it's more like it's rather than saying I have to do this, it's like if I don't do this, something bad will happen or it won't happen, therefore I have to. That's kind of what it is. So if it doesn't become, it won't happen. So we have three. The first thing we'll say here is all things you must not do. So dame, ikenai, and naranai. So dame, ijime, dame, ijime, dame, ijime, nani yo, dame. You know that word? Or dame, oni-chan, dame. So that just means no good. And G, ikenai, we talked about that before in potential form, means to cannot progress. And we have naranai, which means the negative of become. So does not become. Now, when you use these in tandem with te form verbs, you're basically embedding this sentence here and saying that this is NG. This statement here is NG. So, okazu wo tabete wa dame. So, if you were to take away this dame here and just write okazu wo tabete or taberu koto, so eating the food or eating the fish, okazu, or let's say it's fish or whatever you want. I don't know why I use the word fish here, but okazu, so the main dish, the meal, eating the fish is not good. And this one here, okazu o tabecha dame, which is a variation of the form of tabechau. So, but that's a completely different thing, but it comes from that conjugation family, and we'll be getting into this at the end of the quick little relearn Japanese lesson. But anyway, there's pretty much, you put it into the te form, add some wa, and put ng at the end. So you can put ng, ikemasen, naranai, or dame is some form of ng when it comes to saying have to or must not do in Japanese. So koko ni wa haite wa ikemasen. So you must not enter here. So entering here, ng. Yoru osoku made geimu shite wa naranai. Playing games, do not become the thing of playing games until late at night. Must not. NG. Right? Do not become the thing of playing games until late at night. Right? So if you try to, you know, as I've said so many times in my lessons, you got to kind of think about Japanese in a different way rather than just trying to translate it. Look how much more sense it makes. Instead of just saying you must not play games until night, do not become the thing of playing games until night because it is not good. Right. 早く寝るはならなかった. I was not allowed to sleep early. I wasn't able to become the state of sleeping early because of some sort of rule. You could also go 早く寝てはならなかった as well. Doesn't really matter, to be honest. I've never actually used this one in my life. So they all mean the same thing. Dame is casual, ikenai is more normal, and naranai, you'll see that in more formalish kind of context, like a public sign, like in a bathroom or station or something like that, for some sort of rule or warning. So how can we say must? So I have to do something rather than not do something. So we just turn that action into a negative. So instead of using the neutral tabete or taberu, whatever, we turn it into a negative so it becomes the opposite of what you must do. So you have to eat the fish. If you don't eat it, it is NG. So sakana o tabenakute wa dame yo. So sakana o tabenakute wa. Now why would you use the te form? Because instead of saying tabenai koto wa dame yo, right? You could say that. Sakana wo tabenai koto wa dame yo. So tabenakute wa, when you put the te, it implies that there's something else going to be following up, right? When you use the te form, it implies that there's a compound sentence. So the second part of the sentence would be dame yo, right? You could say it either way, but this is just the form that we're learning today. Relearning, sorry. So sakana wo tabenakute wa dame yo. So you have to eat the fish. If you don't eat it, it is NG. Gakko ni ikanakute wa dame yo. This makes more sense if you think about it and you split it up into two pieces, right? So 学校に行かなくては学校に行かないことはダメよ. So that's basically where it's coming from. It's basically the same kind of thing. So if you just kind of, wire that into your brain where this kind of thinking is coming from, it makes more sense than to just rote memory this shit out. So the one I use the most is 何々といかないといけない。何々ないといけない。Right? So for example, 市役所に行かないといけない。So I have to go to City Hall or else I won't progress or it is not good, it is NG. Me not going, it is not good. Me not going to the City Hall is not good. So this is more of like a natural conditional, as we can see here, 行かないといけない. It holds the most urgency because it is a natural consequence. So like if you don't do this, this will happen, right? Or if you do this, this will happen. So it kind of holds the most urgency, but in reality, it's used the most because it's the easiest to say. And you don't even have to put ikenai at the end. It is implied as the high context language of Japanese that it is. And everybody uses it because it's the easiest, of course. Okay, so we have one more method here. So this would be like using kereba. So 宿題をしなければダメです. So basically, there's two different forms to this, right? So we have 宿題しなければいけない or ダメです. It's the same kind of thing. So we have this potential form of しなければ. So putting the but turns into a potential form, doing or not doing. And if you don't do it, because we're putting しない, so we're putting しない, and if you don't do this, it is not good. So we can see that there's patterns here. There's a pattern of potential form. And is it going to be a positive potential or a negative potential? We have chosen here the negative potential. So しない, しなければ. So if I don't do homework, not good. ダメです. If I not do homework, I cannot progress. Therefore, I have to do my homework. You see how you kind of flip it around and think backwards rather than thinking forward. If I don't do my homework, it is NG. And notice the potential form like we just said. So notice that the conjugations here are nothing new at all, and that it doesn't really matter which one you choose. Just pick what suits you best and how do you want to convey your message the easiest way. And for me, that is 行かないといけない, 行かない, or しなきゃ or しなければ. And here's the one that you learned in school for JP 200, 2000, whatever you're learning is 行かなければなりません or 何々なければなりません. Remember that shit? Nobody uses that shit. It's used for like written context or like very specific situations. Everybody uses 何々行かないと or 何々かないと 何々ないと version in like normal speech. It's easy. Everybody understands it and you don't even have to finish the sentence. You can just leave it like that. If I don't know, it's very, very formal to use. I've never actually had to use 何々なければなりません. I've never actually had to use that in real conversation like ever. So here's some shortcuts to like hear an anime and shit. 行かなくてはならない. Remember that from the beginning? 行かなくてはならない. So if I don't go, it won't become. So I have to go. 行かなければならない. I have to go. If I don't go, it won't become. Remember that shit? So now you can change these two forms, なくて and なければ, into the anime form. So 行かなくちゃ or 行かなきゃ. So it doesn't really matter which one you use either. Again, most people either use the anime versions here or they use 行かないと or 何々と, right? So that's basically the most common ones you have to actually use in real life. So you'll hear the anime girls go like, 行かなきゃ or 急がなきゃ or やらなきゃ or 何々しなきゃ, right? So 早く逃げなきゃ like 逃げなくちゃ. Here's another form. Again, I'll show you again. So そこに入ってはいけません. You must not enter there. そこには入っちゃダメよ. So you can see the conjugation here, right? ビールを飲んじゃダメよ. So you can change ては to with ちゃ. So 行って、行っちゃ、行かなくては、行っちゃ. So 行っちゃダメ. And replace では with じゃ. So 飲んで、飲んじゃ. And you notice that では is actually the full form of saying じゃ. It's like, じゃあ、それは, like, instead of saying では, you say じゃ. So these conjugations will be more useful for like when you learn how to do things by accident. 何々をしてしまう or してしまいます or 死んじゃう or やっちゃうとか買っちゃうとか. Right, so that's basically it, guys. Today's lesson was pretty easy. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Kanji Buff will be up again. And we are adding more things to the Patreon as time goes on. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.